What your species does with memory is something I have spent 3 centuries trying to understand. You take the things that mattered most and you carry them forward in time. Not as data. Not as precise records. As stories that grow warmer with each telling. I have been watching what your world has done with the memory of Ethan and Lena. In the years that followed the day the fleet stood down. In the decades that came after the silence. In the long quiet of a planet that had looked up at something it could not explain. And chosen to reach toward it instead of away. Their names appeared first in the places where official records do not reach. Written on walls in cities that were still rebuilding. Spoken in the homes of people who had been in those streets. Who had heard Lena speak in that square. Who had stood beside Ethan as the weapons fell and the light held still above them. The governments wrote their own version of events. They always do. In their version there were strategies and decisions made by people in rooms with authority. There were systems that functioned and structures that held. But the people who had been there knew a different version. And it was the version they told their children. I recorded it all. Every telling. Every school where a teacher stood in front of young faces and said. There were 2 ordinary people. They had no rank and no weapons and no permission from anyone in power. And they walked toward the thing the whole world was afraid of. Because they believed that fear was not a good enough reason to stop. The UAP signatures of our vessels had long since withdrawn beyond the boundary of your atmosphere. We had returned to the positions we hold at the edge of your observable sky. But I had not stopped watching. I do not think I will ever stop watching. Not after what I recorded in those hours on the surface. Not after what Lena and Ethan showed me was possible in a species I have been studying for 300 years without fully understanding. There is a word in your oldest languages that has no precise equivalent in ours. It refers to the specific kind of courage that has no calculation behind it. The kind that does not weigh the odds. That does not ask whether the outcome is likely to be favorable. That simply moves toward what it believes is right. Because it cannot find a reason within itself to do otherwise. Ethan and Lena did not know they were being observed from the moment they first appeared in my instruments. They did not know that every step they took toward the center of the crisis was being recorded in the most detailed archive our fleet has ever compiled on a single contact event. They simply moved. Because they could not find a reason to stay still. In the generations that followed, their story became something your historians struggled to categorize. Too specific to be myth. Too improbable to be ordinary history. The children who grew up hearing their names did not grow up afraid of the sky. They grew up curious about it. That is what I recorded as the single most significant outcome of the entire contact event. Not the withdrawal of the fleet. Not the end of the weapons fire. But the generation of humans who looked up at the stars and felt something other than fear. I am still compiling the transmission I will send back to those who sent us here. The record of what we observed. The account of what 2 young people did. But there is one entry in that record I have rewritten more times than any other. The entry that attempts to explain what Ethan and Lena actually were to this planet. And every time I reach the end of that entry, I find that the closest word in any language we have ever documented is one your own poets have been using for. Thank you for watching until the end. We need your support. Please subscribe to our channel and give us a like.